What is going on, guys? Chris here and welcome back to another video. This is actually the final part of my beginners speed solving series. We're going to be covering in today's video 2-look PLL. It's actually been about 4 years since I started this series and the last video I did was in July 2017, so really sorry for anybody that's been looking for this video. For some reason I just never got around to it, but do not worry, we're going to be doing it in this very video. So you are in the right place to learn the final few algorithms you need to complete the puzzle doing F2L with 2-look last layer. So if you followed the steps correctly in the past 3 videos, you will be about here. So you've done the cross on your first layer, you've done your F2L pairs for the 4 corners and edges of the second layer, and then you've also done the orientation of the whole top layer, meaning all that's left are these 8 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And they just need to be permuted correctly, which means they need to be moved around without disturbing anything else so that they all match up. So in order to do this, we're going to do it in 2 steps, which is why it's called 2-look. The first step is to permute the corners, so we solve these 4 corner pieces with 1 algorithm, and then we're going to solve the remaining 4 edges with a second algorithm. So there are 2 algorithms you need to learn to do the corners, and there's 2 different cases that you will get. So the case that we have here is when we have 2 of the corners already matched up, and we can tell because they'll have the same color on one face. So we have these 2 here, and these are called headlights, a bit like 2 car headlights with the same color facing you. And then obviously the other 2 are not matched up at all. So what we want to do in this case is hold the 2 headlights on the left hand side of the cube, and then we want to do the following algorithm. So make sure you have the 2 matched up pieces on the left, the 2 unmatched pieces on the right. Hold the puzzle like this, and then simply do this algorithm. R, U, R prime, U prime, R prime, F, R2, U prime, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, F prime. Obviously slow the video down if you need, and also pause it so you can kind of learn that algorithm and perform it. But as you can see, we have these 2 pieces on the left still matched up, but then the ones on the right have also been matched up. And the reason this happens is because they were oriented correctly, but because they were in the wrong place, as in this one was here and this one was here, that's why they didn't match up. But now that they've been put in the right place, they look like they're solved, and as you can see, we only have the edges left. So that's the first algorithm you need to know. So this is the next case you might get. Make sure you ignore the edges, because this might not look exactly the same. But if you look at the corners, none of them seem to be matched up. Nowhere on the puzzle do we have headlights. So this is a slightly different algorithm, but this is going to solve all the corners in one go. So it doesn't really matter where you hold the puzzle in this case. As long as yellow is on top, you can do this algorithm from any side. And that algorithm is F, R, U prime, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, F prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, R prime, F, R, F prime. And as you can see, that has miraculously solved all of our corners. So absolutely no problems there. And that's a slightly longer and perhaps more difficult algorithm to learn. It just uses a few more combinations, but if you do just learn that algorithm, it is super easy to go from there and essentially solve your corners in one move. So that's the first part of 2-look PLL done. It's just those 2 algorithms and you'll be able to solve your corners. Moving on, we now only have 4 more algorithms to learn. Now don't be discouraged by that, because some of them are pretty easy. So the first one we have is this case, and this is called a U-Perm. And a U-Perm happens when we have 1 solid block here. So this edge piece here is solved, and we don't want to do anything with that, which means we have 3 more to do. Now, we do have to really look at this and figure out what pieces are going where. If you look closely, you can see that we have an anti-clockwise cycle, because green needs to go here, blue needs to go here, red needs to go here. So these three pieces need to be cycled in an anti-clockwise direction. So this is called a U-Perm. If you want to be really specific, it's the UA perm. And the algorithm for this is pretty simple. It's R, U prime, R, U, R, U, R, U prime, R prime, U prime, R2. And that solves the puzzle for you. Really, really simple algorithm. Only uses the R and the U face, so it's really, really quick to get through once you've learned it. And that, as you can see, solves the puzzle. It perfectly permutes those edge pieces for us, and now we're done. We do get a second U-Perm, which requires we learn another algorithm. So in the case of this, we have the pieces needing to move clockwise. So red needs to go here, blue needs to go here, and green needs to go over here. So a clockwise cycle, leaving the orange in the back. So in this case, we essentially just do the algorithm in reverse. So it starts R2, U, R, U, R prime, U prime, R prime, U prime, R prime, U, R prime. There you go. It's just the mirror of the first algorithm. So all of the clockwise moves are now anti-clockwise, and the algorithm reads backwards. But don't think about it like that. Just learn the algorithm. It's a lot faster to do it that way. So those are the two U-Perm cases, and that's it. There's only two more algorithms to do. So the third algorithm for the edges is called a H-Perm. Not entirely sure why it's called H-Perm, because we need to swap this piece with this piece and this piece with this piece. We've essentially got a checkerboard pattern for the last layer here. And this is a really simple algorithm to learn. It's very, very easy to do. So it's an M2, U, M2, U2, M2, U, M2. Very, very easy algorithm, and you can do it pretty quickly with a bit of practice, except I messed it up, so don't do that. But that's the H-Perm, one of the best algorithms in my opinion, and a really, really fun one to learn to solve. And of course that solves the puzzle for us. So the final algorithm that we need to learn for 2-look PLL is called the Zed Perm. And I think that's because we need to swap these two pieces and these two pieces. So like a H-Perm swaps opposite pieces, the Zed Perm swaps adjacent pieces. So definitely bear that in mind and make sure you know which algorithm you need to do for each case. So in this case, we want to put the pieces we're trying to swap in the bottom left and the top right. So obviously we want to swap orange and blue, and we want to swap green and red. So we hold the two we're swapping down here in the front and left, and the other two in the back and right. The algorithm won't work if you do it differently, and it'll end up being a H-Perm, so you'll have to do the algorithms twice. This algorithm is also pretty simple. It's a bit more complicated than the H-Perm, but it goes as follows. M2 U prime, M2 U prime, M prime U2, M2 U2, M prime U2. And there you go. You have solved the puzzle. So that's it. Those are the algorithms you need for 2-look PLL. It's just 6 more algorithms, and it just speeds up your solving so much because you don't need to worry about what you're doing in terms of, you know, trial and error, getting the pieces in the right place and then setting it up so you can finish the puzzle. It's not vastly dissimilar from beginner's method, but just the fact that you're learning a few more algorithms means you can solve the puzzle so much faster. In the beginner's method, I think if you had a H-Perm, you'd have to do the U-Perm up to 3 times to be able to solve the puzzle. But yeah, just learning and applying those algorithms is so much faster, and you'll find that you shave, you know, 5 to 10 seconds off your solves, particularly if you're a little bit slow to apply algorithms and actually do them. So yeah, that is it. That is the end of beginner speed solving. Again, so sorry this took so long to make. I don't really know why. I guess I just forgot that I was doing this series, but hopefully you guys can forgive me, and you know, that's it. That's my comprehensive guide to solving the Rubik's Cube as a speed solver once you've finished beginner's method. Thank you so much for following these videos if you have, and if you have any questions at all, please leave them in the comment section below and I'll try my best to help you out. It's really great that you've decided to take up speed solving, and hopefully you will get some really awesome times at competitions once you can do them again. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have, thanks for tuning into the series and making it possible. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification button, and make sure you stay up to date with all of my videos. Leave a like, leave a comment, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.